Shemai, I'm Hannah,
And I'm Charlotte.
and welcome to the Purple Sector.
So today we are joined by the lovely F1Dornie. So hi Dornie, how are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
Good, thank you. Very, just getting over yesterday, I think. So obviously, as normal, we will link all her links in the description below. And yeah, should we just get started?
Yeah, so my point about quali is that the racing points weren't quite that racy. I think we were kind of expecting big things from them and they just didn't really seem to deliver. However, part of their problem might have been Checo and the kind of not restructure within the team, but just the very last minute nature of getting Nico Hulkenberg back in that seat, getting him flown across, and in pink, who looks like a Ken doll from Barbie in pink. But yeah, I was just really shocked that Stroll obviously qualified 6th, and then Nico was 13th. And just given their pace over the past few weekends, I thought that they would have been pushing for that second, or not second, but that third and fourth kind of place on the grid. And I was just quite shocked that it was a Red Bull and Ferrari and a McLaren that were in front of kind of Stroll.
I think I was quite surprised, especially after Hungary with Stroll qualifying in P3, really up there with the top teams. I thought that this would be their time. I thought they were going to lock out the second row. Obviously, the news early in the week with Checo, and then the 72 hours of Nico coming in, actually mad. But yeah, I was kind of disappointed because so I thought he was going to be at least full 5th. So seeing him in 6th, it was a bit of a shock, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think qualifying, despite how much he's worked on it, is still Lance Stroll's weakest point. But I was expecting more like 4th. Hulkenberg, I'm not surprised he was 13th. To be honest, to even do qualifying was impressive, all things considered. Like the fact that he's been out of that car, it's only been for a couple of months, but the muscle memory, things like that, the fact that the Force India is a very different car to drive from the Renault, I think 13th was solid for him.
Yeah, I think this week will be very interesting to see because obviously same track, different, although we're getting softer tyres, so it will be interesting to see, and the temperatures will be hotter as well, so we'll just have to see on that one. I hope they do improve because I really do like them battling up there with the rest of the midfield cars. Yeah, I think Saturday will be Friday and Saturday will be good to see if it has improved a little bit in that practice and in that quali as well. So Hannah, do you want to start us off with your race point?
So probably my biggest thing is how well Pierre did and how well Daniel did. So the fact that Pierre in an AlphaTauri, not the best car on the grid, ended up out finishing Alexander Albon in the Red Bull. Alex couldn't get past him for the race. He ended up finishing 7th, and then Daniel finished 4th, matching Renault's best ever race finish in the kind of new era since they came back. I kind of wish Daniel got on the podium though. I think he definitely showed that Renault has pace at Silverstone, which I wasn't necessarily expecting. Silverstone's known for being one of them tracks that catches a lot of drivers out, and he's only had one podium there in the past. I think it was in 2014. He's never won the race there, so I think I'm very proud of both of them. I think
I was going to say, was this not Daniel's 10-year anniversary as well? That would have just been such a good.
Oh my god, how amazing would that have been?
He's grown a lot since then, but I think it's not always been his strongest track out there, but I think he's definitely shown that Renault's got pace, and if tyres if 2 stops end up being the thing at the next race, because there's touch and go whether they're going to actually change the tyre allocations now because of obviously the blowouts. But I think strategy, Daniel's known for being a strong overtaker. He could definitely do well next time out, and I think it'll be very exciting to see, and hopefully Pierre will be able to do well because he definitely seems to be blossoming once again in the AlphaTauri.
Yeah, definitely. I actually really like Pierre. I think quite a lot of people this week have found out that I'm actually quite a big Pierre fan. And I think, yeah, like you can tell at the AlphaTauri, he's just so much more like chilled out and relaxed, but he's still so on it. Like he still wants to get good results. And like I didn't even we finished 7th. He's banging on these results like week by week, getting points week by week. And I think, yeah, like you said, like he is really outperforming in that AlphaTauri, because I don't think anyone really thought that would be anything special this year, and then he's in the points like quite consistently. So yeah, I agree actually, and I'm really happy that Daniel got 4th. Obviously, he wanted that podium, but there was no way that he was gonna. Well, 1 second, but I don't think he was going to get Charles, even if we had a couple more laps.
So obviously I was so happy that Lewis did manage to hold on with those tyres and finish the race on 3 wheels. That was so exciting. But part of me was also just like, imagine if both of those Mercedes had like dropped way back and we would have had that podium for Daniel, or just even that like shock result. We all obviously remember Spain 2016. Obviously that was a little bit different, but just like the two kind of, it would have just spiced up the championship so much.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and when I saw Bottas going slow, and I just thought, that's it, your championship's gone.
We're going to talk about the Haas team. I like the fact that they are mixing up their strategies. They are realizing they're at the back. They're understanding that we aren't going to be in the points every race, and that we need to do something a little bit differently to get ourselves in that points. They started, I think, 14th and 17th on the grid. Obviously, K-Mag was a little bit unfortunate this week, but Roman was up in, I think, 5th place for a good while, and actually seemed to be kind of holding on. Obviously, it was a bit of a DRS train going around Silverstone, which would have helped him a little bit, but I think he was staying there on merit. And I like the fact that they did decide to take that risk, go on the alternate strategy, keep them on, and just do that bit different, and see if it works out. Obviously, this week it didn't work out because the driver wasn't very good at driving. But I quite like that, and I wish we saw more of that. I think Alpha and Williams both could take a leaf out of Haas's book and decide to do that little bit different thing, or make that different call, because that's the only way that those teams are going to get those points, that 1.2 point finishes, is when stuff goes wrong and you've made that risk, you've taken that risk, and it pays off.
I agree. I think especially Williams and Alfa Romeo have become very risk adverse the past couple of years. It's very much, oh, we're kind of in this position, we're not going to take the risk to see if we go forward, because the likelihood is we'll probably end up going back. Like, they haven't got the cars to necessarily try. Whereas Haas, they've got nothing to lose. They'll give it a go. I think Roman running around in 5th place is interesting. I think the strategy, brilliant call to leave him out. Like, I think they had to go for it. They, by this point, only had one car in the race. However, Roman's driving is ridiculous. The fact that he got black and white flagged to basically warn him about moving under braking, and I laughed reading the kind of steward's report, and something Roman was probably saying in one of the things was, oh, well, Max used to do it. And then it's like, in the regulations,
they changed the regulations for Max.
Yeah, they kicked off enough and they changed it. I think it definitely needs to be made more explicit. But also, I think in the end, if he does it this time out, like, Daniel was not happy, Carlos was not happy. If he does it again, I think he's going to get a penalty for it. Or even he could be disqualified from sportsmanlike behaviour. So
I got, like, the first time I did it, I was like, "What are you doing? Like, you do not move when you're under braking." And he looked in his mirrors, so he knew that he was there, and he did it. And that's the thing that gets me. If you didn't look in your mirrors, like, I can watch the camera and see that you've moved your head to look in the mirrors, and you've still done it. And then to do it for Danny Rick as well, I was like, it's just a joke. But yeah, like what you said, I think I don't see what Williams have to lose. Like, now they've got a little bit better of a car. Surely this is the time they want to start pushing it and trying it, not just doing the same.
Because realistically, it doesn't matter if you finish 11th or 19th in my book. Both of them could be the same. you're not getting any points for either. So if you finish 11th or you crash out, well, no, it's a bit different if you crash, but like take the risk.
I think the only difference I'd say is it depends with a couple of the bottom teams, is if they all end up on the same, if they only get 1 or 2 points appearances and they all end up on the same number of points. That's, for example, why George Russell is lower than Latifi in the standings at the moment because of Austria. So I think...
Yeah, but like teams like with Kimi running at the back, come on, just do something. Even if you just go 2 places up and you're still 3 places outside the points. Like Kimi's not going to be wanting to be at the back all the time. Like there's rumours that he's going to retire.
Kimi was not happy this weekend.
Yeah, but yeah, I actually agree, Donnie. Like they need to start like chancing their luck basically, and just if you're at the back, there's not like you've got nothing to lose. If you mess up, you're going to be at the back anyway. So I understand if like George was in 11th fighting for 10th, then I can't understand. But if you're going to be at the back, then you're going to be at the back.
It'll be interesting to see with the 2-stop strategy whether Williams and Alfa Romeo decide to throw their hat in the ring a bit more, because I reckon we'll have a few some like either massive tyre degradations or a couple of people getting caught out. I think it was at Stowe.
I really hope we see some 3 stops. Like, I'd love just to see, like, drop back and fight back. Burn your tyres out.
Lando.
Burn those tyres out. Get another set on. Get going again. Come on.
Yeah, just something a bit more exciting. And that kind of leads really well into my point about what the hell was the tyres this weekend, because honestly, I have no idea. Like, the whole... oh, we need to pit, oh no, we're not going to pit, blah, blah, blah. And then seeing that graphic, the AWS graphic, and you know, we're always like, oh, they're rubbish. And it was like, actually, Lewis's front tyre was actually on 10%. Like, that was actually true.
Was it on 10%? It was probably less.
Yeah, it was probably like 4% by that point. But I read an article from, I think it was Pirelli, saying that they're going to actually look into why, like, they all were failing basically, because for 3 cars to all have the same sort of issue, clearly there's something wrong. And it's probably obviously track temperature. It wasn't even that hot yesterday though in England, like it wasn't as hot as Friday. But yeah, I think the tyres next week is also going to be quite interesting because they're softer compounds and it's meant to be boiling hot. So
I think Silverstone's one of them tracks that's always quite difficult on the tyres. Like even if you look at the junior formulas, I think it was Lando in one of his things said about how at Silverstone your front left tyre is wrecked by the end of the race because of how the bends work there.
Yeah.
I think Silverstone's had a couple of instances now with tyre blowouts to be like, actually, pointing to look at it and look at the compound. It'll be interesting because probably there's rumours that probably could review them and basically decide not to move to softer compounds, which I think would actually make the race less fun. I want to see them on softer compounds. I want to see them degrading more quickly, and I want to see drivers actually trying to drive the legs off their cars for once. But I think it is a worry when you've had different cars with different engines, different setups, and that all having very, like, the fact that you have McLarens, but also a lot of the other drivers were complaining of vibrations and things like that, and their tyres going. So I think it's definitely something we'll need to watch out next weekend. And with the hot weather, I'm just predicting absolute carnage.
I personally don't think they should be changing the tyres. I think it's more just the teams are so used to putting on a tyre for 20 laps and then changing and just getting to the end of the race and not really having to worry about tyres. So I actually think that we should, like, the teams should be considering, oh yeah, this is a really bad circuit for tyres. This is a really bad circuit for tyres. Like, we need to be tactically 3-stopping here. Like, I don't think it's a case of, oh, the 1-stop strategy doesn't work at Silverstone, so we need to change the tyres to fit the 1-stop strat. It's, no, these are the tyres for Silverstone. Change your strategy.
Yeah, I think Silverstone's one of the tracks where I don't think a 1-stop really works. Like, for the amount of laps that they have, they should be having 2 3-stop strategies. You should be having more dynamic things. Like, they make such a big deal about the pit stops, and then you'll get practically like 2 a race per team. And I just think they actually would make it a lot more exciting. You also tend to see a lot more teams, more pit stops. You have a lot more messing up. Mercedes double stacking under the safety car was just beautiful. But I think it'll be definitely interesting to see, because some of the drivers are probably going to be harsher on the tyres with the softer compounds as well, and how much they'll degrade.
Yeah, I think this was a lot of what ifs. Like, because they pitted Max, what if we didn't pit Max? He could have won, but then his tyre could have blown at the same time.
The only thing I would say is if it had blown out and Max had won, it would have made the championship a lot more interesting, wouldn't it? And it would have seen a little bit more dynamics. But those Mercedes are just Hamilton. The Mercedes are in a league of their own, and Hamilton's just on another level now. I don't think anyone can take this championship off him.
No, he is just a king, isn't he? So I want to ask you guys, what is your predictions for Silverstone? So what is your quali predictions, and what is your final race predictions?
I am going to, you're both going to laugh, I'm going to back my boy. I'm saying Nico into Q3, or I will cry.
I'm not laughing because I really want to see it.
Me crying about Nico is not uncommon at the minute, so it'll just be another day. So I'm going to say Nico into Q3. That's my quali prediction. And then my race prediction, I'm going to say a 3-stop race. Someone on the podium is going to have a 3-stop race.
I think that's a good prediction. I'm going to be boring, and quali I think is going to be the same. I think it's going to be Lewis, Valtteri, Max. I think race-wise, actually quali-wise, I think Alex will qualify P5. I think Lewis will win again. I think Max and Charles might get into a scrape and possibly take one. I don't think both of them will be out. I think one of them will end up out. And I'm going to back Lando. I'm going to back Lando to be a sneaky one on the podium.
For quali, I think George will be I'm hoping, I want to say it, will be very close to Q3. So I'm thinking maybe a 12th, 11th quali. And then for the race, Hamilton, Bottas, Norris, because I just really want to see him fighting up there again, because Austria was just so good to see him fighting all the midfield and get that surprise podium. And I would just really like to see him get a podium on not merit, because he earned it in the first race, but not because of a penalty. I want to see him fighting up there.
Yeah. I've got one more thing to add. Someone's going to have an engine blowout.
Yeah, I think so.
With the hot weather, I think the hot weather, the tyres, everything, they're going to be working those cars that hard. Someone's going to have an engine blowout.
Okay, so thank you, Dornie, for coming on. Hopefully,
thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. Hopefully one of our predictions will come true. If they do, then well done, girls.
Manifesting.
Manifesting.
Agreed.
So thank you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe to Dornie. All her details will be in the link below. And this is the Purple Sector, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.